Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today is gonna be a short and sweet one because I'm just gonna give you an update on how my Hoya Kerrii is doing. So the last video I posted was last September of 2020, and now it's May 2021. So it has been 8 months since I showed you my plant. I'm gonna do a few different questions. Okay, first of all, a lot of you have asked me how often do I water my Kerrii. So in the last video I showed you that I like bottom water it or shower it once a month. I typically do that, yeah, once a month during the winter time, but in the summer, since my house gets really hot and the plant is growing a lot better, a lot faster, I would increase that. So maybe every 3 weeks. But in between, I would also give it like little sips here and there. When I feel like the top soil is a bit dry, I would pour some water in, but not so much that it seeps out the bottom. So it's just like a little bit here and there. I don't know if that does really anything, but so far it's doing well. I know that consistent watering is really important for my Hoya Kerrii, because when it's growing out new leaves, you'll see like the baby leaves coming out, and they're so tiny, they're super cute, and usually they struggle in the beginning when your plant is, you know, it's not receiving enough water, when it's dried, or if you unfortunately overwater it, then they will abort the baby leaves to save the rest of the plant, or to just, you know, it feels like it's not the right time to grow, and it will just continue growing the vine, and maybe later on it'll put out a new leaf, but not at the same spot. And so that actually happened to my plant earlier, I think about a month ago. So I was still kind of watering it on my winter schedule, and so when it started putting out these 2 baby leaves, at first they were growing, and then I'm like, wait, it hasn't grown in a couple days. And that's when I know, oh shoot, I missed the prime time of watering the plant. So of course, immediately I watered it. I bottom watered it to make sure the entire root ball is moist. But that didn't save the baby leaves. They kind of just, the first one fell off, and then 2 weeks later, the next one fell off as well. But you know what? It's fine. That same vine is still growing. This week, there's actually a new leaf growing at a newer node on the same vine. So, I mean, the plant isn't gonna like stop growing completely when you miss it watering. It's just going to adjust itself. Yeah, you don't really need to worry about the leaves falling off, except it's just kind of ugly because you're gonna get a bald spot on that node kind of forever. Another thing is that I missed it a lot. So during winter, I actually have a bag over it just to keep in the moisture, but during the summer months, it's hotter, my house gets a lot more humid, and I take off the bag because it gets way too wet in there and it just drips water down, and I don't like that. So I take the bag off, and then I would mist it every single day. Again, I don't know if misting it actually does anything, but when I'm misting it, I also mist it with worm casting? I don't know how to say that word. Anyways, like fuller feeding it. It's basically nutrients for the leaves to absorb. So I kind of do that every week as well, and that's kind of how I help it grow. Another question is where does new vines come out on the plant? So it's easier to show you. So the plant will grow new vines at the nodes. Usually they look like 2 very tiny leaves, and as that vine grows out, those 2 leaves will usually they grow So you'll see the leaves first, but sometimes they actually don't, and it's just a vine coming out. I find that happens towards the end of the summer when it's like, okay, it's getting a little colder, the length of daylight is getting shorter, and it just doesn't want to grow new leaves anymore. So it'll just keep growing the vine. But right now it's spring, so it grows leaves first, and then the vine will keep growing. Also, don't be too alarmed or too afraid when you notice a growth nub and then it just kind of stays there and does nothing. That happens. Even to my really big Hoya, I don't really know why, but it's fine. You just gotta let it do its thing. You know, I don't have an explanation for this. All I can say is, as long as you're giving it enough light, which for me is my southwest facing window, and I put it 10 to 12 inches away from the window because I have a plant stand right in front of it for like succulents and stuff. But it does get direct full light for most of the afternoon. As long as your Hoya gets enough light, it will grow. I totally forgot to talk about this wonky looking leaf. What happened was that it started growing under a lot of stuff here, and I didn't see it in the beginning, so I couldn't really fix it. But you know what, like at the end of the day, I can't really fix it because I don't want to take off the entire trellis and give it space to grow. So it kind of got stuck, and now it's like kind of really ugly, wonky looking. It's trying to grow. But yeah, it's gonna forever be like this. I am so sorry, little leaf. So over the winter, I lost 2 leaves, which is pretty good considering how many leaves there are on my plant. I think about 40 or 50. So yeah, over the winter, I lost 2 leaves at the very bottom. One is like literally the first leaf, or like the oldest leaf on the plant. Another one is right here. So it's also very old. It's like the second node. And I didn't lose anything else up here. The new vines are all good, like they didn't do anything over the winter. Yeah, like seriously nothing else happened to the plant other than those 2 leaves. And then it started growing new leaves, not new vines, new leaves first when it was about March. So during March, I think it was this one. Yeah, so this little one, it's kind of small compared to other leaves on this plant, as you can see. In March, this one came out, and it was like, oh, I'm awake now, so I'm gonna keep growing for you. So this one came out, and then I think this one came out. Oh yeah, it's kind of warped because it sat right on top of the trellis, if you can see that. So it's kind of not flat, but whatever, like it's fine. Yeah, so those 2 came out, and then in April this one, I think this one, and then in May this one. So yeah, a lot of leaves. I think about 2 to 3 per month, which is a lot for this plant, considering how slow it grows. That's my update for today. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Or if you want to read about how I care for my Hoya Kerrii, then like go check out my blog. I'll link down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope you learned something. I hope that was useful. And maybe I'll do another update at the end of the summer. Bye!